Alright, so in this chapter we're going to do something a little bit easier than the last project. We're going to build an FAQ slider. So basically we have a bunch of questions here, and if we click on one, then the answer is going to pop out or slide out from underneath it. Alright, and this doesn't have to be limited to an FAQ section. I guess it could be for pretty much any kind of document with text fields that relate to each other. And you can see that when we click on one, if there's one open, it'll close. Alright, and we don't have to make it like that. That's just how I did it. And you can see that we have this little icon that faces downward when we click on it. Alright, so this is pretty easy to implement. Before we get started, I just wanted to mention the jQuery UI user interface. And if you go to jQueryui.com, you'll have this section on the side here with pre-made widgets that you can use. Alright, so basically there's all types of them, but the Accordion is actually one of them. Alright, which works just like the slider I just showed you. Alright, so if you want something quick and easy, you could always just take this. They have the code right here. Basically, you're going to have a div with an ID, and then inside of there you'll have a heading and a div with a paragraph. Alright, and then the only JavaScript that you need to do to get this to work is just use the Accordion plugin right here. So you want to put the name of your div and then .accordion, and jQuery will do the rest. And of course you do have to include the jQuery UI file. You can use the CDN or the actual file, just like jQuery. Alright, so I just wanted to mention that, and if you look at some of the other ones they have here, date pickers, okay, so a little calendar pops up, slider, okay, so it's kind of like just a HTML slider function. Tabs is another one. Okay, so you can have these tabs formatted, and they give you the source code right here. Again, this is just using just the plugin, just tabs. Okay, that's all you have to do. It's very easy. There's also effects. Okay, so things like color animations. Alright, you can see the code here. Alright, so just a function, not too difficult. All kinds of effects and widgets. So I'd suggest that you just take a look around the UI website. A lot of these things are just really simple to implement. But anyway, let's get back to our FAQ slider. Alright, so basically in this video I want to create the HTML, and this is going to be a small project. There's only about 25 lines of JavaScript, of jQuery. So I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call it FAQ slider. Alright, and as far as images, we just have this arrow image. Alright, so I'm just going to bring that over. You can grab that right from the project files. Alright, so we'll create our index HTML file. And let's do a CSS folder. Oh. Alright, and we want our JavaScript folder. And in our CSS folder we want to create a new file and call it style.css. Okay, and then JavaScript. Let's call this script.js. Alright, now we can open all these files in Notepad++ or whatever your code editor. Let me get rid of these. Whatever your code editor is. Alright, so HTML, I'm going to go ahead and do the HTML5 doc type. I like to do this in all caps. Okay, so we'll do our head section. title, let's say FAQ slider, and let's link our CSS file. And let's see, href is going to go to css/style.css. All right, and then our JavaScript file, script.js. Okay, and we need to include jQuery. I'm just going to grab the Google CDN. Okay, just grab that. And the body. Alright, so what we're going to do is, if we look at the project, let's look at the slider. We're going to have a container, okay, that's going to wrap around everything. Then we have an H1 here, and we'll have a div here for this title. And then each one of these is going to be this is going to be an unordered list, and then this will be an li tag with the class of Q for question, and this will be the next li with the class of A. So it'll just rotate QA, QA. Alright, so pretty easy. So we want a div ID of container, and then we'll have our H1 here, say jQuery FAQ slider, and then we'll have our title, so div class title, and we'll say FAQ slider using jQuery. Whoops, that's just a div. Actually, no, we want it, this should be an H3. Should be an H3 in the div. Alright, now we want our unordered list, so UL and let me see. We'll give it an ID of FAQ. Actually, let's make that a class, because we might have more than one of these on a page. Okay, FAQ, and then we'll have an li. Okay, so this li will have a class of Q. Alright, and class A. Alright, so basically we're just going to rotate these. Actually, let me do the whole thing before I copy and paste. So the question, we're going to have that arrow icon before the text. Alright, so we'll do an image src, and that's going to go in the image folder, and then arrow, I forget what it's called. Is it arrow? Yep, just arrow PNG. Alright, so we have the image, then we're going to have some text. I'm just going to grab, okay, to represent our question. Okay, so that's the question, then the answer is just going to be some more text. I'm going to grab that. Okay, so now we can just copy this. Three, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we get 6 question and answer sets. And that's it for the HTML. Let's take a look at it. It's not going to look very good. Again, I'm using I'm not on a server, so this Google CDN, I'm just going to add HTTPS : or we get the loop problem. Alright, so here it is without any CSS. So in the next video we'll make this look like this.